Hi everybody, I'm Janae and welcome here to my channel. And today I was thinking about the concept of perfection. And in particular, I want to share with you an experience that I had years ago in middle school. I can even picture it now if you think about the Golden Girls and Sophia, and she's like, picture it, Sicily, 1919. Well, okay, it wasn't 1919. Picture it, Virginia, 19 something. Middle school, 8th grade, algebra class. And my teacher shared with me her view of perfection and perfect practice in particular. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. So what I learned from her at that time was that specifically if I wanted to practice something, I needed to do it perfectly. And the exact saying that she said was, perfect practice makes perfect. So perfect practice makes perfect. So when I step back and I think about this and I reflect upon it, that means that there's really no room for error. There's no room for growth. There's no room to evolve. There's no room for added creativity or to be able to change things or look at, even actually step outside of, preconceived paradigms or boxes that we currently experience and live in. And we're in a time now where we have an opportunity to create so many new systems, so many new foundations, so many new ways of living and new ways of being in community with each other and new ways of even knowing ourselves and how we want to be in the world. That if we have perfect practice makes perfect, then there's a box, right? There's this little box that here's what's perfect, and you do that over and over and over again. If you do it perfectly every time, then you're going to achieve perfection. And that saying has really stuck with me. I don't remember every teacher that I had, but she's one whose name I actually remembered. I didn't even have to go back and look her up to try to remember who she was, because that really stood out to me for a second, and I didn't realize the weight that went with it. And the fact that if you're living from that concept of perfect practice makes perfect, then there's no room for anything else. Then how do we do something new? How do we even stumble across something new? How do we then also just enjoy the fun of learning and adventuring and testing things out? It's like that sense of wonder gets blocked out when there's this box of here is what is perfection, and you do it within this box each time, and then you will have perfect practice. And then I started thinking about, wow, the toll that takes mentally on you, right? I mean, it's physically, it already feels heavy and draining, but mentally, when you think about perfect practice making perfection, then how can that not create a level of anxiety? Because, oh my goodness, there's no room for errors, so you have to get everything just right every time, or everything's going to fall apart, and that'd be horrible. Or the depression that would come with that if you didn't get something right, if you didn't do everything perfectly from the start, and how horrible that would feel, and the reflections on oneself if everything wasn't done just perfectly from the beginning. And I was like, man, this is a lot heavier than I ever realized that it was. And I wanted to share it with you today because you may be experiencing this belief within yourself, and you don't need to. Because I don't believe it's true that perfect practice makes perfect. Yes, should you be trying to do your best in each moment? Of course, and I believe that we all do our best in each moment with what we have in that moment. And then we get better. But if there's no room for error, if there's no room to explore or wonder or even try out something new, or if there's no room for creativity, then there won't be any growth. And so all you would have is perfect practice of what somebody else has told you is perfection. There wouldn't be room to find out your own unique expressions of perfection. And what a shame that is. So no wonder there could be anxiety and depression if you happen to have lived in your own world where you have also gotten that message that you need to do things perfectly all the time, or something's going to go wrong, or something's not going to be accepted right, or whatever the belief happens to be about it. If that is in your own way a message that you have received, I'm here to say that I think it's time for us to throw it out. Let's just drop that. We already have enough to deal with in the world right now. Trying to maintain any level of perceived perfection will do nothing but hold us back from being able to be receptive to the amazing, many amazing ways of living in this world that we haven't even touched yet. So if you too have experienced your own times of dealing with issues around perfection, or perhaps beliefs that you have been taught about perfection, share with me in the comments below about what you have learned about that. And are you really willing and ready to drop it? Are you willing and ready to let it go and say, no, I'm going to create for myself. I'm going to define for myself what perfection looks like, rather than fitting it into somebody else's view of perfection and how I need to be or show up in this world. And on that note, I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. In the meantime, you take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.